All right. The best thing about a brand new month in August is that we are that much closer to the Burr months when it's going to get cozy in our lives again. It's so good to see you on this Saturday, Sonder family. I'm Jennifer Ogilvy. I get to be your facilitator this evening. It's been a while since I've done a Saturday, so I'm very excited to see lots of familiar faces. And I'm wondering if there's anybody here for the very first time. We're going to ask you to drop a me in the chat because this is a community and we want to just welcome you with open arms and just big hugs to everybody else. I've seen lots of familiar names in the chat. You may be sitting quietly. That's okay too. This is all about taking what you need. But we're welcoming back everyone. Yes, for an enchanted evening, as Radhika says. And we're going to get going with this. A wonderful week, a first week of August, brand new month, brand new week. It's going to be good. Joining me is my co-facilitator this evening, Maya Martin Glenn, who is coming to us from Colorado, and she's going to be hanging out in the chat with y'all. So if you have any questions along the way, she's there to support you in whatever way you need. She can give you lots of different email addresses and links and that kind of thing if you have any questions. And then she is, we're so excited for her. She dropped in the chat. She starts a brand new job on Monday. So lots of good juju out to Maya. We're so excited for that. And what they are so lucky to have her. I'm so excited for her new school district. So yeah. And let's see. Oh, and I'm just going to shout out Maya just got back from, I asked her how her beach trip was. She was on a beach trip. And I said, when I went on my beach trip, it was really a family trip. I said, there's a difference between a family trip and a vacation. And so she just got back from a family trip. So that'll kind of put some light on. She's happy to be home. But anyhow, so yeah, birthdays, drop in the chat. Are you an August birthday gal or guy? Put that in the chat. Let us tell you happy birthday. Oh, lots of, look at this. Me, yay. Brenda, happy birthday. Let's see who else. Chris, Jennifer, lots of birthday. Very good. My anniversary is this month. 42 years. I married this man when I was a baby child. And so we will have our 42nd anniversary on the 13th. So anyway, yeah, August can bring us good things, even though we're all tired of being sweaty. Make sure your chat is set to everyone. That's how we'll communicate with one another. You get to keep your mics off, your cameras off, all that good stuff. There's those community guidelines. We share them at every one of these just to remind folks that this is a safe environment, safe place to land. And so if you are here for the first time, we ask you to observe these guidelines while you're interacting. Thanks, y'all. And then I do a lot of the Monday morning facilitations of our weekly setups. And so I found this great graphic about self-care starts on Monday. So if you're looking for a day to okay, it's today, this is a great graphic. And so this is a reminder that if you see something you like that you might want to put in your journal in some form or fashion, grab a screenshot. I love when it's kind of there and creative for me, and then I can go, okay, I'm gonna do that because it's hard to sometimes sit and think of what to put in these spaces. But I love that. And then the 5 days to schedule every month, and I love this because I get in the headspace of, I need like a reset day, that cleaning organization. I need it like on the daily. But what does that look like if I just give myself permission to maybe have one day where I really focus that and be happy with that one day and maybe free up some space for other things on other days so I don't get overwhelmed. So I kind of like giving myself that kind of permission through something like that. Again, if you like those graphics, grab a screenshot and maybe it's something. And I always love a learning day, that intention of learning something new. And of course, with the month of enchantment, we want to have a few fun days scheduled in there. So that's that last one that says you got to have at least one fun day for the month. Of course, we've got this magical new theme. I played Magic, Olivia Newton-John, the OG, right? And when I was a kid, she I wanted to look like her, and, the albums would come out and, "Okay, here's her outfit. What can I do to recreate it?" I just wanted to be her. I thought she was just so wonderful, so I was excited to play a little ONJ. Um, Enchantment isn't about magical thinking, it's about being fully present in the world, in your world. So we're gonna really lean into that as we start looking. Yeah, I had the leg warmers, all the stuff. So funny. And I got to see her in person with my college age daughter. And when she came on, the little side story, she came on stage and she started singing Xanadu off stage and then walked on. And we both just wept. It was so cool. So, anyway, I'm a big fan. So, thank you for indulging me with Olivia Newton John for our opening number tonight. This evening, we're going to start that magical mind map, that enchanted mind map. If you are here for the first time, this is going to be week one, and we have four prompts digging into enchantment in our lives. We'll do our rosebud thorn reflection. Then I've got lots of examples for the weekly setup so that you can, do what you're already planning to do, or maybe you'll be inspired to try something else. And the examples come from you all, you wonderful Sonder people. So we're going to also encourage you to post your setup, or even maybe just one section at the end of this in Sonder Club, because you inspire one another when you do that. So I'm going to invite you now to find a blank space in your journal. If you are here for the first time, this is a bonus prompt. You're not going to find it printed in your journal, but coming to the weekly setups gives you this bonus prompt. It's kind of one of the things for coming. So anywhere in your journal, maybe you use the weekly scratch pad, maybe you have a sidekick journal that these kind of things go in, wherever your space is, go find that and think about, what if enchantment wasn't something that's just for fairy tales, but something already woven into the corners of your life, just waiting to be noticed? So, over the next several weeks, we'll be guided through a series of journaling reflections designed to help you map the enchantment in your life. Doesn't that sound fun? You're going to explore people, places, objects, memories, and quiet moments that awaken something sacred, spark joy, or simply make you pause and smile. And so for week one, our prompt is the time of day when the world feels enchanted to you. Consider the natural rhythms of your days that align with your sense of beauty or calm. For example, an early morning fog, the golden hour of the rising or setting sun, or the silence of late night. And think about, how do you feel during these times, and what rituals or reflections come easiest then? And I put some more suggestions for places in your journal. Some folks like to do this on the quote page. I do mine on my very last page. Our facilitator Bailey gave us that hint once, and I was like, it's perfect because you can always get to it very quickly. So I've got, I'll show you my page in just a second. So there's our prompt again. I grabbed some shots of some inspiration for you to maybe, kind of think about the feelings that get evoked at certain times in your day. There is my page. I went with the cookie cutter hack again to create my enchantment spaces for 4 weeks. So that's my big star cookie cutter. And I answered this prompt with, I love to sit at my kitchen table in the morning as the sun brightens the world, sipping on my cup of coffee with sunbeams hitting the table and then changing as they move over the yard just triggers me to sit and notice. And then I'm able to think about my day in a very gentle way. It just kind of slows me down. And James Clear has this quote that really supports this idea of find the beauty and joy in your daily rituals, and you will find beauty and joy in your daily life. To love your habits is to love your days, and to love your days is to love your life. And if you're on a desktop, you can see that is actually my backyard, and that is in the morning hour. You can kind of see the sun rising and hitting the bark on my crepe myrtle there, the little patches of light, and it's just such a peaceful moment for me, before the hubbub of the day. So that's where I landed with mine. I'm going to put on some music while you work on your page. Let us know kind of the time of day that's very special to you. Maybe it's your steamy bathroom with that nice relaxing shower at the end of the day is where you find that moment of being enchanted. It doesn't have to be, out in nature. Perhaps it's part of that ritual and routine that you just so savor. I'm excited to hear what you share, and then we'll get on with our chat with our setup. All right. Thank you for kicking off this month's mind map with that special time of the day. And if you sat and this was a little tricky, let this be a challenge to sort of slow down and really notice the things that stir your heart and bring that little bit of moment of enchanted and then do what you, enchantment and then do what you can to protect it and to make sure that you are incorporating that into your rhythms and rituals of your everyday life. So, great start in looking at enchantment in our lives. So now let's turn to let's see, we are on page 30 in our August journals. If you wanted to finish out your July journal with your rosebud thorn reflection, you're going to be on page 56. And then we can put July away. But we're going to take a look back over this past week at our roses and our buds and our thorns. And this is a great mindful reflection, a reflection in gratitude. Remember that those roses are your highlights from the week, the things that were wins for you, positive things that happened. Today was my little grandson's third birthday party. Now he won't be three till next month, but they went in with a friend and they had two birthdays for the price of one. And I got to do his birthday cake. I put a little picture there because I'm so proud of it. But it was a circus theme. So his little birthday party. I just can't believe that baby's three. And then the buds are the things you're looking forward to. What's coming up? What are you planning on learning or placing in your life? Maybe it's just the theme of enchantment this month. For me, it's this week is Camp Grand Happy. My daughter-in-law goes back to work. She's a school teacher, and that means I get the kids. So we're excited, and we always call our chunks of time together Camp Grand Happy. So we'll be taking them to the cabin Monday after my Monday setup. And then my thorn, the challenge, or an area where you can use more support. My mom had some health issues with her back, and it turns out she has a compression fracture. And so my brother is literally with her. They live in another city in Texas, and he's with her right now. They're at the ER and they're trying to figure out, what the next steps are. So just a little worried about her. I have that daughter guilt, and I'm usually the one that handles all this stuff, but I'm really trying to let he's okay. He can do this. So anyway, thanks y'all. So let's just thank you for those good thoughts, Nathania. I know because you're always taking care of your mama so well. Anyhow, so let's work on this and share in the chat as you're comfortable, and let us celebrate together those good things that the week brought us, and we'll hold space for each other and support each other through those thorns and cheer you on through the buds, those new things that are happening. Thanks for taking time to reflect over your week. I want to call out Kimberly L because she said, "Rose, I can't think of one right now. That's okay. Give yourself that space. If the week just wasn't so great, it's okay to have a bad week and when you're reflecting, maybe tomorrow evening you can be like, "Okay, my rose is it's a brand new week. I'm done. This week is over. That's my rose." So give yourself that that grace to do it. Also, you have this evening and you have tomorrow. Maybe there's something you can really do since it's not coming to front of mind. What do you need to do to create a rose? Can you give yourself a rose and maybe plan something in the next couple of days? Susie went on an artist date, per Julia Cameron. If you don't know about that, check that book out from the library. It's so good to take yourself on artist dates and just sort of explore and find glimmers and see things in a new light. The book is called The Artist Way, and it's really, I think that's the name of it. I may be recollecting the wrong way. And then also remember, sometimes one thing like like the back to school week can be all the things. It's the rose, you're excited. It's the bud for all the new things that are coming. It's the thorn because you got to get back into that school rhythm. So I love that um, one thing could be your rosebud thorn. Sometimes that happens in our lives. All right, so let's look at pages 32 and 33, and I'm going to show you lots of things that can be put on any of these spaces. So you can use the spaces just as they are. Lots of people will repurpose one or two spots here. They may not want to set goals for the week, so they'll put something else in that space, but you're encouraged to do what works for you. And there's going to be lots of sharing in, with I've got images from y'all and lots of sharing in the chat. And if you're looking at something and you're like, I'm wanting to do this, but I really don't know how to, throw that in the chat. Let's support one another because so many of you have all these creative ideas to incorporate rhythms, routines, habits, setting a goal. Just throw it out there in the chat. We're among friends and support. So these are just some fun ways to maybe frame out your week. Having alliteration with our days could be fun. So there's a couple of slides that shows you what that could look like, if you so choose to embrace that. And I'll go all the way up back through all of these slides while you're working on this page. So if you miss something, don't panic. We've got some special days this week. August 5th is underwear day. I'm not really sure what that means, but wear your underwear. But maybe that's a day where you go through your underwear drawer, maybe that's a way you could incorporate that. My favorite day this week is going to be on August 8th. It's Whataburger Day in Texas. That's a big, Whataburger is a big hamburger chain that got its start here in Texas. And I'm actually a Whataburger kid. My dad was a general manager for Whataburgers in the Beaumont, Texas area. And so I grew up on Whataburgers. So I'm really excited. We're going to go to Whataburger on August 8th. But anyway, Maya Angelou's quote there is, "This is a wonderful day. I've never seen this one before." Oh, what if we start our week like that and wake up every day and say that about the day that is coming our way, because life is meant to be a celebration. And this month, during all my setups, I'm going to put this slide up with the new days of the week because I think it's a very fun way. Yes, you have an excuse to go to Whataburger, Andrea. I think this is a great way to really embrace the theme of enchantment, is to maybe find one fun thing a day to do. Alrighty, so I love to play show and tell. So thank you. If you see any of your stuff up here, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is actually from last August. I got some stuff that I saved last August. Wanted to share this first page with you so you can see how folks set up their goals, their to-dos, and what they're tracking and how they're tracking their habits and activities. You can see that the one over there on the right, their three goals are household, personal, and business, and then the to-dos tie directly into supporting those goals. And then the way she's tracking habits and activities, you can see checking in with all the spaces, but just just, putting a heart there if it happens, yay me. Whereas the one on the left, you can see that there are goals set for that habit and activity tracker. So you can set goals, you don't have to. Oh, thank you, Leanne. You're so great about always posting. So thank you. I'm glad that you shouted out that that was yours and some things got done. Very good. So maybe you can repurpose this page again. If it was good for you a year ago, it's good for you now, right? I love the one on the left also because they want to feel lovely and then their goals support that. To feel more lovely, I will. So kind of an affirmation, powerful statement, and then they put that thing in there, the thing that will make them feel more lovely. So, again, I just love peeking at people's pages. So because this is week one, I'm really going to call you to go back and look at your intentions and your start, stop, continue spaces that you hopefully filled out for the things you're manifesting for this month. Look at those things and see if there's a way to work them into this week, either through your goals, through your habits and activities. Maybe you're going to do some self-care stuff in the mind body health space. So pay attention to what you wrote on those pages. And then I want to call out the smaller graphic there of under in the habit and activity. This person is calling themselves out to look at the start, stop, and continue space on page 8 4 times. So they're really trying to make sure that they're keeping that front of mind. So just that little, I think that's a great way. Sometimes we go full, we're full throttle for the first, week to 10 days, and then we find ourselves in the middle of the month losing our motivation. Putting these accountability hacks in your habit and activity trackers a great way to be accountable to self. So let's start with thinking about how we want to feel for the week. Um, and kind of think ahead. What do you have going on? Do you have a big meeting? Maybe you need to feel confident or grounded. Starting a new job, maybe that confidence comes out as you're feeling for the week. Are you feeling burned out? Perhaps you need to feel rested or free or grabbing back to last month, independent. So think about what's going on and what you want to feel this week. And then here's some examples. One word, a mantra. Go ahead and start dropping in the chat the things that you're embracing this week. You could use stickers, you can use pictures, you can choose your main focus. A lot of you are educators, I know, going back to that routine, or you have loved ones in your life that are going back into that routine. There's just something about this time of year that's almost like another new year start. So, oh, Gina, you've been sick. So we want you to be better. We've got productive, fearless, feel more connected to your feelings. That's a great one, Susie. Perhaps you just want to feel enchanted, or you're going to put your word of the year here and you're bringing that. Jennifer, being magical is always a good thing. Here's some more words. If you're stuck, go ahead and maybe something that'll connect. Okay, Amy's asking a question. She wants a word that'll connect to the fact that most of this week is a vacation week for her. So she's asking maybe carefree. If you have a suggestion, drop that in the chat for Amy. Michelle's saying motivated, back on track, confident, liberated. Oh, Sarah's got exclamation marks. Empowered, strong, supported. Yes, use the punctuation. All right, keep those things coming while we're working on this. Now we're going to take that feeling into our 3 major goals. Of course, you might want to just embrace enchantment through your goals, but there's lots of different ways to set your goals up. Lots of folks like to do the 3 categories, like that example I showed you, and then that generates your to-do list. Again, that call out to your intentions page, to your monthly habit tracker. Are there some habits on there that will support some goals this week? Personal challenges, you know what you need. Love the graphic. A dream written down with a date becomes a goal. A goal broken down into steps becomes a plan, and a plan backed up by action becomes reality. And that's what this page is all about. So hopefully you can figure out a way to set that up to work for you. We've got some great examples from Sonder family. You can see some ideas of the categories there. And then, taking those goals and writing them out in affiliation with whatever that category is. Love the one in the upper middle. The goals, there's two of them. Don't lose my mind and organize, put away stuff. So, you can keep it very, very simple. You know what you need. You can put a quote there, if you need a little inspiration for that way to feel this week, just do a quote. Again, lots of great examples. The one in the middle, four examples or four goals. You don't have to have three. You can have four. You can have one. You don't even have to goals. You can do like a checklist here if you need to. Let's take a look at taking our to-dos now. Now I share this every now and then. I keep a big O to-do list. It's kind of the grand one. And then these are things that really aren't time bound, but that need to happen. And then I maybe visit this and work this into my to-do list each week through the month. And then, sometimes this list just transfers into my next journal as I mark things off. One side is procurement, what we need to buy for the house, and then the other one is just all my to-dos. So just a suggestion, if you kind of keep this bank of your to-dos, that you can draw fun. Yes, I have a funny room. That's actually this room, and we didn't know what to call it. We don't know if it's a den or an office or it's a weird room. It's got like doors on every wall except the wall that has windows, and yeah, so we just call it the funny room because it's a weirdo little room. My quilting stuff's in here. This is my work corner. Yeah, thanks for reading my to-do list. And it's always in need of attention. So, the Eisenhower matrix is a great way to take a big O list like the one you saw and plug those things into the chart to figure out how to prioritize what really needs to happen. I tell you all the time, I'm terrible about doing the things that are really not important and not urgent because they're usually the easier ones. And, I don't eat my frogs. So the things that are really important and urgent keep going from week to week to week. And for those of you who were at Monday setup, I did not mop yet. So I still have dirty floors, even though that was an eat the frog. But this is such a great tool, and especially if you have something new, like a new routine with the school you're starting or a new job, all the to-dos that come up, you can keep a blank one of these and just kind of as things come your way, it can help you figure out how to utilize your time. Breaking the to-do list up into need, want, hope, work or home, to do, a to-do list. I think we all need to-do list somewhere in our weekly setups this month because of enchantment. We're going to find those glimmering to-dos as we go along. Again, this to-do list up in the upper left is great. It's like some questions, some reflections. What are the three most important tasks of each day? It's like they're going to check in with this box every morning. And where can you schedule time for rejuvenation for an energy drop? Really taking care of self. Love that. And finally, what's the smallest possible step forward you can take to see momentum and then connect with your day? So you may have this big job. What's a little step? So really that mindfulness of embracing your week. Okay, we'll keep moving along here. We repurpose this space all the time. Maybe it's a little bingo board. Perhaps you need a to-be list. You're feeling frazzled, and so you need to be reminded of what you need to do to slow down. Make a not to-do list. And again, a shout out to that to-do list, that idea of noticing the good things in our life and the things that get done that we weren't planning on doing. We're going to drop down to this bottom section, look at our habit and activity tracker, because some of the things that you're going to do for your goals and your to-dos will inform this tracker. There's from our Instagram account an evening self-care checklist. So the beautiful thing about this tracker is it could be like for your whole day, things you want to have happen, but you can also get very focused on like a morning routine or an evening routine or a nutrition routine or the kids or office to do. So you can really kind of give it a theme and use this in a separate way from that big habit wheel that's at the front of your journal. So this is an example of an evening self-care list that could easily be popped into this tracker. This is an old slide. I'm bringing it back because it's got great examples. Like I know Brenda, that's yours with the laundry. But you can see like circling days when you need things to happen. Again, goals are optional. You can set goals or you can do just straight tracking. Give yourself permission to take days off. The one in the upper middle there, just a big X over Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like if you have a banging week, give yourself Friday and Saturday off and just say, no, I'm rested and just write the word rest over that. So it's about taking, again, always taking what you need from this. And then there's some habit and activity inspiration. So I'm going to put on music while you're setting this page up. I'll go back through all those slides from the very beginning of our feeling, how we want to feel, back to this habit tracker. If you saw something that you liked and maybe you're not going to use it this week, but you want to keep it in your library or your bank, grab a screenshot of that, and then we'll go on to page 2. All right, while you're finishing up this page, we're going to go on to the next page because I really want to make sure that we get all of our content in tonight. You know, I love to talk. So here again, some show and tell from you all, a couple of different ways to set spaces up. This second page is the one that we tend to repurpose. I think the majority of us, if we repurpose, it's going to happen on this page. I always personally like to use the Mind Body Health Plan for kind of my selfish space. So something about my nutrition, my health, my peace, my rest, little self care nuggets, all that always goes in Mind Body Health Plan. You can see the two meal plans look a little different. The one on the left is all about me time, which I love. So if you do have a banging week, put in some me time. What are you going to do to take care of self? To find the enchantment in your everyday. The one on the left, doodles and designs are part of that meal plan space. And then still using the space as a meal plan by writing the main meal, if you see, along the sides of the water droplet. So I thought that was a great idea because we kind of only plan our main meal every day in this house. And so that's a perfect way to just sort of jot that down so it's in writing. Their Mind Body Health is dedicated to quotes, Mind Body Health quotes, and they designated, space to write that in. Jennifer, you made the cut. Thank you for sharing. That's hers on the left. And then the shopping list on the right is home needs and business needs, but that's only for just a little bit of that shopping list. And below, it's got the little bit of, rhythms and routines, values to add to life. And she used dice instead of number one, number two, number three. She'd made little dice, which I thought was so cute. But it's just kind of a little bit of that rhythm and routine of life, and has done a checklist. Whereas Jennifer on the left has a bingo board there for the things she needed to get done. It's just gamifying life, feels good. And then in her I am loving space, just really good quotes there for that inspiration. So let's look at some other examples of the meal plan, the meal tracker. Lots of different ways to utilize this beautiful space. We love it. Bible verses, daily things to do, appointments, symptoms. Um, I always say, always that water droplet, there you can color code them if you're trying to break a habit of like too much soda or something. You could color code the liquid intake you have. But there's also 8 of these. So is there an 8-hour type check-in you want to do? Do you want to breathe deeply for 2 minutes at the top of every hour? During your workday, you could use those 8 droplets to check in with self, like I did it. I stopped and I did that breath work. Anyhow, love the idea of using the Post-it notes like the one you see at the bottom there, where you have a little journal prompt on the front, and then put your response there in the back, a checklist, lots of different things to do here. Shouting out to that 7 types of rest, and maybe embrace a different type for your focus each day. Or maybe you have a whole week where you're focusing on mental rest, if that's something you need. The feels and meals, I think that's a really good thing if you're really trying to be cognizant of why you're eating. Why am I going in for snack? But it could also be a little bit of a symptom tracker, like I ate this and here's how I felt afterward. So again, lots of good ways to utilize those big spaces. So we talk a lot in Silk and Sonder about the difference between self-soothing and self-care. So this is a very good graphic of kind of explaining there's not one better than the other. I always say self-care just feels a little more grown up to me. It's the stuff that maybe, it's not always fun to do, but it's the best way to take care of ourselves. Whereas self-soothing are like activities. And so it's kind of what do you need at any given time. So there's that as a resource as you're setting these spaces up. Some simple self-care. I love this one because it's embracing your senses where maybe each day you focus on a sense and you look at something nice and you smell something nice and you feel something nice and listen and taste and really slowing down, finding the enchantment in your day through your senses through this very basic activity. I've done the self-esteem journal lots of times where I just complete the sentences here. Some more ideas to inspire, a week of gratitude, another journal response kind of thing. There's the alliteration days again. We're bringing that back around. And then just some intention, setting an intention for each day. Here again, maybe it becomes your cleaning list, relationship health plan. Love that one in the upper middle there. If things are feeling a little off center, maybe you focus on your relationship and you do a thing each day. So lots of great ideas from y'all. We always love the how do I feel? What is that telling me I need? Check in, and that could be in the morning, that could be in the evening, that could be at high noon, evaluating your day. So use it as you need to. And then that shopping list, we love this because it's a little grid and it makes the lines fun to draw. Lots of repurposing for this. I keep my shopping list on my phone so that it's always at my fingertips. So I always repurpose this and I always put some kind of a bingo there. So, if I'm celebrating next week's my anniversary, next week's bingo is already done and it's all about my anniversary. A birthday bingo, my garden bingo, but a bingo always goes here for me because I love those grids. But you can see how folks are using this. Some folks say it is my unshopping list and it's the reminder to stay out of the dollar store. But you can see lots of bingos here. Wordle wins when they're tracking that Wordle that you do. Nathania, great shout out. She's going to be using this space for all the ta-das, all the enchanting moments of ta-da in my life. A quote. I love the social check-in. I always think that social check-in is amazing because it's important for us. I actually have been doing a social check-in often in my big habit tracker, and then I write titles of the people who I am checking in with. And then let's see, we got one more slide finally. As you're working on this page, share in the chat, what are you loving this week? Is it a new product? Is it a book, a movie, the theme? What are you doing? And share that in the chat because you'll inspire one another. Maybe there's some great product you've discovered that the Sonder family needs to know about. I'm going to put on some music and then I've got some tea to spill when we come back. So be sure that you hang out for the end. Okay, this is what makes Sonder Club so magical. Chris said in the chat she is reframing August as one long golden hour. And wow, right? Like it is. It's our goodbye to summer. It's kind of thinking about, oh, we're gonna have this shift into the Burr months. I love that mind frame. So thank you. We've all redefined August, as Radhika says, for the rest of our lives. It's the golden hour of the year. So please share your journal in Sonder Family because you can see it may be a year before it shows up, but we facilitators love to go grab the examples that you share with all of us. And then I have some tea for y'all about Silk and Sonder. So are you ready? We've got some fun things coming up. We've got just the reminder of using our AI platform, your self care coach, Jenny, and how using it can really enhance how you use your journal and set things up. And I heard a lot of folks chatting about, helps me set my intentions or helping me find enchantment this month. So we have a 14-day trial. Maya just dropped that link in there. So it's a free trial, and then you can cancel after you get to do all the onboarding. You get to take all the inventories that are all scientifically based, the Myers-Briggs, the Enneagram, all that stuff. To really make it for you. You're going to get exposed to wonderful content, but you can also don't forget to go look at the app and see all the content that is available to you as a Silk and Sonder member of the family. Some new features coming up is you get your life as a movie. Meha, our founder's title of her movie is The Visionary Hustle, a West Coast story. Talks about a little bit about all the areas of her life. And something new is the wheel of life. The data that you put in is now going to be there. It can be updated on the regular, and then you will be provided with this little bit of data. You'll be seeing your chart, you'll be seeing your ebbs and flows, and it will really help you get a grip on what's going on in different seasons and chapters of your life. Which will also keep that emotional health score front and center. And that's kind of cool because you can go back and go, oh, yeah. Like, how many of us think about, oh, yeah, that was COVID? Like, when we think about our life and we look back and why didn't I? Oh, yeah, that was the COVID year. Like, you'll be able to see those things in a data driven way. Also, text to speech journaling prompts. So, lots of really cool things that are coming your way. I'm so excited that y'all have loved this music. I'm going to drop the link. I am on Spotify. I'm dropping the link to my enchantment playlist. It's right there. And if you loved it, you're going to want to go to the exclusive because we're doing kind of a rewriting your fairy tale and bringing in a lot of magic, a lot of beautiful music. So I encourage you to sign up for that. That'll be later in the month of August. But I'm real excited to walk through that one with y'all. There's the songs for the day. Thank you for joining us. Great week. Thank you.